Imagine a world where the restless sea stands still, its energy suspended in a moment of absolute silence. The wind, once whipping across the waves, now glides over a vast frozen expanse, untouched and pristine. As of February 2026, this is reality along Poland's coast. The familiar shoreline, usually bustling with life and movement, has been transformed into a wintry realm that feels both magical and surreal. The Baltic Sea, usually wild and grey, has frozen solid under a relentless Arctic cold spell. Ice sheets stretch as far as the eye can see, locking the sea in a grip that few alive today have ever witnessed. Where waves once crashed, there's now a silent plain of ice stretching to the horizon. The landscape is stark and beautiful, a testament to the raw force of nature. The usual sounds, gulls, waves, fishing boats, are gone, replaced by the eerie groans and cracks of shifting ice. Every creak and shudder echoes across the frozen surface, a haunting reminder of the sea's hidden power. The Vistula River's mouth is locked in ice, ships trapped in port, the estuary a solid expanse. Commerce and travel have ground to a halt, as if time itself has frozen alongside the water. The entire region looks like a scene from another era, a reminder that nature's power still dwarfs our technology. Streets and harbors, once busy, now lie dormant beneath a thick layer of ice and snow. For explorers and locals alike, seeing a major European sea and its river artery frozen is almost unimaginable. Children play where boats once sailed, and adults marvel at the transformation, capturing memories that will last a lifetime. Kilometers of water have become a temporary icy bridge to nowhere. The frozen surface invites curiosity and caution as people venture out onto what was once an untamable sea. This deep freeze is more than weather. It's a rare, awe-inspiring transformation that will be remembered for decades. The Baltic's frozen embrace is a powerful reminder of nature's ability to surprise, humble, and inspire us all. To grasp the impact of this freeze, you need to know the Vistula River, Poland's lifeline. Flowing over 1,000 kilometers from the Carpathians to the Baltic, the Vistula has shaped Poland's cities, trade, and culture for centuries. It's more than a waterway. It's the backbone of the nation, supporting industry, agriculture, and millions of lives. The river is woven into Polish folklore and history, a symbol of resilience and continuity. Its steady flow has witnessed the rise and fall of kingdoms and the rebuilding of a nation. Now, the Vistula is silent, its movement halted by a thick blanket of ice. For many, it feels as if the nation's heart has stopped beating. The freeze disrupts generations-old rhythms of life, turning a familiar friend into a formidable icy stranger. The frozen Vistula is a powerful, almost shocking sight, a landscape transformed overnight. How does a mighty river like the Vistula freeze? It's a process that unfolds slowly, almost imperceptibly, as winter deepens. Unlike a pond or a small lake, a river is always moving, carrying energy and warmth that resists the cold's advance. It takes more than a few cold nights. The air must remain frigid for days, sometimes weeks, before the river even begins to surrender its warmth. Prolonged, severe cold is needed to sap the river's heat, degree by degree. Each night, the water cools a little more, and the river's surface begins to lose its battle with the freezing air above. Freezing starts in shallow, slow-moving areas, where fragile ice crystals form and clump together. These delicate crystals drift and swirl, gathering in quiet eddies and along the banks. As the cold persists, these patches connect, forming thin sheets that gradually thicken. The ice creeps outward, linking isolated flows into a fragile, shimmering skin. Fast currents usually resist freezing, their energy keeping the water in motion. But when the cold is relentless, even the central channel can begin to freeze, as floating ice is swept downstream and collects in slower stretches. Once a solid ice lid forms, it insulates the water below, allowing aquatic life to survive. Beneath the frozen surface, fish and other creatures continue their lives, protected from the harshest cold. The ice grows thicker, sometimes over a meter, but the water beneath remains liquid. This hidden world endures, even as the surface hardens and thickens with each passing day. This ice isn't static, it cracks and groans under pressure, a reminder of the river's hidden energy. The sounds echo across the frozen landscape, hinting at the powerful current still flowing below. The process is a slow-motion battle between flowing water and the relentless grip of winter. Each day, the ice advances, but the river never truly stops moving beneath. In the end, even the Vistula must yield to the cold, transformed into a silent, frozen expanse, at least until the first signs of spring begin to break winter's hold. When the Vistula freezes, life along its banks changes overnight. River transport halts, barges and ferries are trapped, disrupting supply chains and daily commutes. Fishermen lose access to their livelihood, and recreational activities vanish. The river becomes a vast, inaccessible barrier, reshaping routines for thousands. Yet the frozen surface tempts people to walk, skate and play, transforming the river into a giant, temporary park. Authorities warn of hidden dangers. Ice thickness is unpredictable, and currents lurk below. Infrastructure strains under the freeze, water intakes clog. Bridges endure new stresses, and crews work non-stop to keep services running. Life becomes a test of resilience and adaptation. The frozen Vistula is both a challenge and a spectacle, drawing communities together in shared experience. It's a season of hardship, but also of unexpected beauty and unity. While people find shelter, wildlife faces a harsh struggle along the frozen Vistula and Baltic coast. Water birds lose access to food, crowding into rare open patches, competing fiercely for survival. Many birds won't make it through the freeze, their energy reserves quickly depleted. Local rescuers scatter grain, but it's a losing battle against the vast cold. Beneath the ice, fish and aquatic life suffer as oxygen levels drop, risking mass die-offs in a phenomenon called winter kill. Mammals like otters and beavers find their dens blocked, forced to travel dangerously overland. Even deer and wild boar are stymied by the unyielding ice. The entire ecosystem is thrown off balance, every creature struggling to adapt. The frozen landscape hides a desperate fight for survival. Nature's beauty here is matched only by its brutality. The Vistula's freeze is dramatic, but not unique. Rivers worldwide endure similar icy transformations. In Siberia, rivers like the Lena and Ob freeze solid for months, becoming winter roads for remote communities. In Canada and Alaska, rivers like the Yukon and Mackenzie turn into vital ice highways, with locals betting on the spring breakup. Even the Thames in London once froze, hosting legendary frost fairs during the Little Ice Age. Extreme cold changes more than the landscape. It alters sound, carrying noises for kilometers in the dense air. The crunch of footsteps, the crack of ice, all travel farther, adding to the eerie atmosphere. A frozen river is a sensory experience. It looks, feels, and sounds profoundly different. Across the world, these icy events remind us of nature's reach and unpredictability. A frozen river is beautiful, its surface glistening under the winter sun. But beneath that serene exterior, it hides real dangers, especially when the thaw begins and the ice starts to weaken. As temperatures rise, melting ice breaks into massive, jagged chunks. These can pile up and form ice jams, which act like temporary dams, blocking the river's flow and causing water to back up. When these jams suddenly give way, they can unleash devastating floods with little warning, threatening homes, roads, and entire communities along the riverbanks. To prevent disaster, authorities deploy icebreakers or even use controlled explosives to break up the ice. Despite these efforts, the threat is constant and unpredictable, requiring vigilance throughout the thawing season. Moving ice is incredibly powerful. It can crush boats caught in its path, tear apart docks, and erode riverbanks. Bridges, too, face immense pressure from shifting sheets, which can damage supports and threaten their stability. Even walking on the ice is risky. Thickness varies from place to place, and hidden currents below can make it dangerously thin in unexpected spots. What looks solid may be fragile just a few steps away. Falling through means instant danger. The shock of icy water can cause hypothermia within minutes, and strong currents can pull a person under the ice, making rescue extremely difficult. The frozen river's calm is deceptive. Beneath the stillness, powerful currents and stored energy wait for the first warm days to unleash chaos. The transition from winter to spring can turn tranquility into turmoil moments. Engineers must design for these immense forces, reinforcing bridges and riverbanks to withstand the river's unpredictable power. Every winter, they prepare for the challenges that come with the freeze and the thaw, knowing the river's strength is never truly. The authorities' warnings are serious. Beneath the beauty, the river remains wild and unpredictable. Safety measures and constant monitoring are essential to protect those who live and work near its banks. Respect for the ice is not optional, it's a matter of survival. Understanding the dangers and dynamics of a frozen river is the first step to staying safe in its presence. The Vistula's current freeze is rare today, but history tells a different story. During the Little Ice Age, Europe's rivers and even seas froze regularly, shaping daily life and survival. In Poland, the Vistula once became a winter road, with inns and armies crossing its frozen surface. The Battle of the Vistula Lagoon was fought on ice, and trade and travel adapted to the harsh conditions. These winters brought hardship, crop failures, famine, and economic distress, but also resilience and creativity. Folklore personified winter as a force to be respected, reflecting deep awareness of nature's power. Today's freeze connects us to that past, reminding us that climate is always changing and that awe for nature is timeless. The frozen river is a living link to history, written in ice. In the grip of the deep freeze, something remarkable happens. People come together. Neighbors check on the vulnerable, volunteers distribute food and warmth, and communities unite against the cold. Local heroes, utility workers, emergency crews keep society running, but it's the small acts of kindness that define resilience. Families adapt, finding joy indoors and marveling at the transformed landscape. The shared experience becomes a story for generations. Remember the winter the Vistula froze? The freeze teaches us about nature's power and our own strength when united. The ice will thaw, life will resume, but the memory of solidarity endures. Even in the coldest times, the warmth of the human spirit prevails.